Well, um, part four. I can't take atheists serious anymore. And I want to clear up some things here in part four. Um, and I said some things about water, and I want to be clear about some things I said in the last video because I was jumping around, and I do that a lot. It's a like since I've gotten older, I'm starting to um I can't hold on to thought patterns for real long, or they'll be going. Like I could read something and I could be thinking about it all day, and then when I do the video, I lose my train of thought when I've been thinking about it all day because I wrote it down, I read it, I studied it, I was discussing it at work or whatever, got in an argument with it about it with somebody or whatever. And then when I want to talk about it, like I want to do this video and I only got like 30 minutes or less, you know, boom. What was I thinking about? What was I thinking about earlier today, And I'll be talking and a thought will come to my head and then boom, I'll jump into that thought because I don't want to lose it, thinking that I'll go back to what I was talking about and boom, I didn't. And now it's time for the video to time out. But anyway, one of the things I was talking about was water. Water representing the Holy Spirit in the Bible. Um, and what I was trying to do was use that to show you how Christianity has failed in our world system. Okay? Um, Water can be contaminated. The church can be contaminated. It can be tampered with. Okay? The church can be tampered with. And it has been. The church has been tampered with, first of all, by Catholicism. The church has been tampered with by people just like you atheists love to throw articles and propaganda at us. And saying that this person said this or this article said this or this happened long ago. And it's all got something to do with me or what I believe. Or Abrahamic religion, so to speak. Or some nonsense like that. But the church has been tampered with. Just like I go to work and I meet a nice guy and we're talking and he says something that where he had, I'm at work, I'm talking to my new partner. I told you in the last video what I do for a living. I police security guards. That's what I do for a living. The most popular college here in Pennsylvania, which would be University of Pittsburgh. Two most popular colleges here in Pennsylvania are obviously Penn State and University of Pittsburgh. Okay. Um, University of Pittsburgh is becoming the biggest campus, from what I understand, and I work at the biggest campus. And so I got this new job, and I got a new partner, and my partner, watching my time, my partner found out that I'm a Christian because we talk about this stuff. When you got a partner on a job, you have to talk to each other and socialize with each other. Okay? And the difference between non-believers and atheists, right off the top, is an atheist will be bothered by the fact that I'm confident about my faith to where I can boldly speak as if I know what I'm talking about. And I can. And it'll be like, oh, well, that changes everything now that I know that you're really seriously taking this stuff literally. Yes, I am. And I'll talk about the video of the girl I just got done listening to in a second. But again, I got this partner at work, and the minute he finds out that I'm a Christian, he starts saying some stuff that bothers him. And I says to him, Christianity is not Catholic. he blew up. He said, I disagree with you. You're trying to say the Catholic Church ain't Christian? Blah, 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 blah. But it's the truth. Christianity is not dependent on the Catholic Church, Martin Luther, okay? It's not dependent on any Pentecostal, Baptist, Lutheran movement, Presbyterian movement, okay? Make it into whatever we want to make it. It's clearly founded right here. When you understand the context of what this is saying, it's very clear. Okay? And you don't even need to like really go to Bible school or anything like that. What you need is to have Jesus in your heart. Because the truth about people who want to argue, like, especially when you're making videos about, and this is the only reason, you're making videos, you got me making videos. Okay? When you are bothered by the fact that people are, and don't get me wrong, I mean, this girl, I'm going to talk about her in a second if I have time. This girl that I just got done listening to, this atheist, she was talking about how her friend asked her a dumb question, and he's right. She's right. Well, she's right. When she said, oh, well, you can't, and I know she's having fun because she thinks she won. She thinks she hung this Christian because he said something dumb like, oh, there's no evidence for China or something like that. Yes, there is modern day evidence for China. You can get on a plane and fly to China. Okay? But what he failed to tell her was that you can only prove what's in front of you. See, Christians let atheists make them forget that Christianity is not the only thing we believe. We believe every day. When you smoke, you enter into a belief system. When you do drugs, when you do alcohol, when you cheat on your wife, when you walk out of your house with a gun hidden under your clothing or something, you know what I'm saying? When you drink water out of a river or out of your spigot, okay? When you go to college and you take classes, knowing that you made bad grades in high school, you require some belief system, some kind of faith. Okay? You can only prove what's in front of you. And what makes me mad is that the things that you atheists will try to use to prove Christianity a fallacy, so to speak, is the same things we use to claim faith. You use, it is written. It is written where? In old books on evolution, old books on science, propaganda, stuff that somebody said and somebody Googled it, and all you have is an article or a document or a book. But it's wrong for me to have the Bible. You say, do you know what's in that Bible? Do you know what Charles Darwin said? Do you know what kind of person he was? Do you know the private lives of some of these atheist leaders? atheist leaders, meaning like Christopher Hitchens, and Dawkins. Is it Dawkins? Hawkins? Dawkins, I think. I mean, if you go into if you know more about them than just what they write, about what other things they might be like, okay, like if you're spending so much time on debunking religion or debunking faith, okay, what else is in your life, man? And I've seen a lot of people who I felt like, hey, man, the guy's a nice guy. But then come to find out, that I can see where he needs Jesus after spending some time around him. I can see why he's not a Christian, why he chose atheism. He didn't choose atheism because everything that he's ever wanted to do, as far as be a nice guy, be a moral person, be a righteous person, be a person that people can appreciate. Okay? He never ever came even close to matching us on a physical or spiritual level as we follow Christ. Okay? He's never been able to match that or meet that in the middle. Obviously, people who strive to put atheists in the front and say, I don't understand why people have to be religious or why they think why they can't, and I think that's a trick. I really do. Because like this girl tonight that I just got done watching. She claims that she believes in things that she can prove. And yes, she's right. He did, trying to be a Christian apologist, the dude did do a dumb thing. You can prove China, dude. That was a dumb one. You can prove China if you go there. But you never been there. So until you've been there, okay, and in a way I agree with him, in a way I don't. Because on a physical level, I can see where, yeah, if you go to China and you've been there, then you can sit there and talk. But that's another thing. But, like she said, she got friends that she went to school with who were Chinese, and she traveled with them and done that. She never been to China. But see, that's not an equivalent. That's not a proper answer to the question. My answer to her, and I typed it in there, was you can only prove what's in front of you. Once the people that have done something are dead, they're buried. It's very simple. Once the people that have done something are dead, are buried, then all you have left is books and photos. I have a Bible that has archaeological photos in the back of it of stuff that was taken long time ago when from the very first cameras that ever existed, to help me to believe in the things of the Middle East that happened. And I can go to the land of Israel. I mean, my pastor has been there before, the pastor of my church, and a lot of other pastor people I know, a lot of Christians I know, have been to Israel. They have knelt down and looked inside the tomb where Jesus rose from. But the reason why you would say, oh, the Great Wall of China exists, even though I don't hear anybody talking about the Great Wall of China except Donald Trump. It still exists or whatever. Yes, you would have to go there, or you would have to listen to people who are continuing to talk about it, believe that it's there. Okay? Me, this is where faith and this is where faith is different from religion, and this is where faith is different from science. The reason why we believe something is because of how that belief system applies to other things. It doesn't just apply to history or the idea of miracles, but it applies to things in our lives. Okay? And like I said, when people are dead and buried, and their families are dead and buried, and all that we have is books that talk about these people that are dead and gone. All we have is, old newspapers or something. You can believe what you want to believe. Do you know that there's people that believe that slavery never happened? Black slavery. I had a friend one time. She almost became my girlfriend. Okay? And we was starting to see each other and stuff. And one day, we went to talking about movies. And I mentioned to her, I told her the only black movie that I ever watched that really, 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 that I really didn't get bored with was Roots. And, you know what Roots are. Roots is a movie about black slavery coming into this country. And she said to me, I don't believe that. She didn't believe that black slavery really existed. Okay? She says, oh, I believe black people had trouble. But she said the whole plantation thing and, you know what I'm saying? She believed that black folks made that stuff up. And there was white people that endorsed it to use it to their advantage. That's what she believed. Now, I got to admit, I got black friends who have all these pictures. Some are drawings, some are old newspapers, some are stories, articles. They got books that are so old and, they go all the way back to the 1700s and stuff, okay? On the issue of black culture and slavery, the plantation life and all that stuff, okay? And sometimes, I'm tempted to wonder sometimes if we haven't been fed the idea of slavery to control us instead of it really happening, because the people that it really happened to act better than black people act today. And I'm wondering how that's possible. But Americans, period, act better back in the day. They acted better back in the day than they do today. Okay? There's less hatred, less freedom. I mean, there's less hatred, okay, back then. when there was less freedom. Now today we have more freedom, but part of that freedom is the freedom to hate. Like atheists. They think that, oh, it's their business to crush Christianity and get rid of it. And I really believe the real reason is because you don't want to accept the fact that if I don't bow to your question, if I laugh your question off, or if I give a good answer for your question, or if I call your question stupid or whatever, and I live the life, and I understand, and I live the life because I understand. All your chit chat about evidence, okay? And then, you know, this girl, like, on this video, she even went there where, like, I tell atheists all the time, I say, look, evidence is for the court of law. I'm not accusing you or nothing, okay? I'm not a cop, you're not a cop, okay? I'm not doing anything that I should be put in jail for. You're not doing anything you should be put in jail for, okay? So where does the evidence come in? She even said it. But then she said, oh, but then she tried to apply that to the church, the Christians. And like I say, like she said, oh, well, I know a lot about religion. But then her eyes rolled up in her head when she went to talk about Christianity. And she said she went to church, and she went to this church and went to that church. Then she went to churches that she couldn't name them. She don't remember the names of the churches she went to, where she learned from. She don't remember a lot of things. And again, I think a lot of y'all make this up as you go along. Water can be contaminated. Bottled water is like a new idea. Okay? It's like new ideas and counterfeits creeping into the church. Even though I love bottled water. But on a spiritual level, if you can do anything to spiritually, or study anything to spiritually discern, I believe that even some of this bottled water sounds like they screened it so much they took something out of it. It just tastes like plastic somewhat. If you've ever chewed on plastic, I mean, it tastes like plastic, some of this bottled water. It tastes like all the natural, some of the natural stuff is missing from it. Now, to me, the best water is water that comes right out of a mountain. Okay? But from what I understand, when they do bottled water, they even screen that. And I think someone told me they put stuff in the water too before they sell it to make sure that it's safe or whatever, like some kind of like digestible chlorine or something, you know. So, you know, that represents to me how we today have melting down the church, okay, of Christ. Slavery is still existing, and I cut out on that when I was talking about that earlier. What I meant to say is, like, today in the work world, I work a job where I feel that we work our officers too hard. When you have a setup to where they can't, you know, go to the bathroom without a relief. They can't just walk down the hall and go to the bathroom. Somebody got to come and be there so they can go to the bathroom. To me, that's almost like a slave driving job. And even in my fellow like representatives that work with me, the white church, they disagree with me about that very harshly. Like, no, you got to have security here all the time. I understand that, but it's just so unfair that you can't get up and take a leak until somebody comes and lets you take a leak. And there have been incidents where people had accidents because they were locked in there and they couldn't do it without, a relief. And last thing I want to say about my recent video is that change, when I was talking about change, and I cut off and I didn't finish on that, change, the difference between Christianity and religion and the change that you claim you have, is we change from the inside out. We change in here first, in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits. And then that works its way on the outside, and we change the way we dress, the way we talk. Just like, I decided to stop cussing again. I just got tired of cussing. I have this conviction about cussing now. I have a conviction about litter. Okay, I have a conviction about a lot of things that I've said in the past and the way I say things to people and stuff. I have a conviction. And that conviction only comes from the Holy Spirit. Atheists don't receive these convictions because these convictions are given to us by God. They're a blessing. So you want to tease us and say that we're lying to ourselves and binding ourselves by some old ancient book that may not even be the truth. I think that you should be more honest about why you need to make it your business. Until next time, part 5. See you then.